Okay, good morning and welcome back to day number 30. I don't know where my phone is and I forgot to look it up inside of it. I'm sorry, I think it's like, I can't even pretend. I'll look it up later. Today is our last day. Last day! 30 days of yoga, I can't believe it. So today we're going to do something special. Like I've said, we are going to do the stand-up challenge, which some of you might have done from me before. Maybe some of you are like, no idea what you're talking about. So we're going to try the stand-up challenge before, and then we're going to do a little flow, and then we're going to try the stand-up challenge after and see if it changes anything. The stand-up challenge is something that I suggest for everybody to do because it just shows you how your ankle and your hip mobility is doing. But I would tell a lot of snowboarders that if you can't do the stand-up challenge, then you need to work on your hip and ankle mobility for snowboarding. So, and I mean, that can go for a lot of other sports too, but you snowboarders have my heart. So yeah, let's try it out and see how you do. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start on the mat. You probably won't be able to see me because I can't push you back far enough to be able to see me, but we're gonna start standing and then we're just gonna take a seat. So stand up, feet together, and then we're just gonna come all the way down, maybe onto your tippy toes, that's fine. And then just take a seat right here, right? Okay, so the stand up challenge is with your feet together and with your hands in the air and bringing your feet as close to your sit bones as possible. Can you just stand up? So there's rules to this. You can't use momentum and you can't get up and then jump back or step back or do anything to save yourself. So hands in the air, wave at all the people, and stand up. Did you do it? If that was difficult or if you are still struggling, then we're going to try a little flow to help us out a little bit with our hips and our ankles and see if we can get it at the end. So let's go ahead, start in our child's pose position. So tops of the feet on the floor, sit your hips back onto your heels, knees as wide as the mat, extend your arms all the way out, and then forehead to the floor. And breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. In and out through the nose. Beautiful. And let's go ahead, coming up into a tabletop position. Tuck your toes under, press the ground away, pressing your hips over your heels, and coming up into your first downward dog. Really stretching out those calves a little bit, really important when we're trying to get that ankle mobility. Breathe. And let's go ahead, come forward into a high plank, hug your elbows in, shift forward, core tight, slowly lower, chaturanga, press up, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's go ahead, keep the left foot on the ground. We're going to bring the right foot up to the ceiling, third-legged dog. Breathe, and then open up the hips. Let the knee come to the ceiling. Left heel to left butt almost. And then send that right foot in between your hands into a lunge. And we can put our hands on our thigh here and just hang out in this high lunge for a moment. And breathe in and out through the nose. Beautiful. And place your hands down to the ground. Keep your left hand on the ground as you inhale. Take the right hand up to the ceiling. Breathe. And then exhale, bring right hand back down to the ground. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So take that right foot back into that downward dog. And let's just hinge forward into a high plank again. Hug your elbows in, core tight, slowly lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. So same thing on the other side. Left leg coming up to the ceiling. Breathe here in that three-legged dog for a second.
And then bend that knee, open up that hip. You can get your right heel to your glutes and then your left knee to the ceiling. Beautiful. And exhale, send that left foot in between the hands. And again, inhaling, coming up into a high lunge. Breathe here. Sink into your hips a little bit, but still pressing the ground away with your feet. Breathe. Beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and bring both hands down to the ground. Keep the right hand where it is, taking the left hand up to the ceiling. Nice. And exhale, hand to the ground, pressing back into our downward dog. From here, we're going to make our feet as wide as the mat, and then bend your knees as you start to walk your hands to your feet, maybe ending in this forward fold. From here, bring your hips down to the ground and your chest up into a yogi squat. And breathe. Yogi squat, so good. And go ahead, straightening out your legs, bringing your face down to the ground, your chest down to the ground, and straightening out your legs, hips up to the ceiling. You can rock back from side to side a little bit. Totally optional, not a requirement. And let's go ahead, bring our hips down, chest up, yogi squat. Put our hands in between your legs. And breathe. Beautiful. And then bringing your hands down to the ground, hips up, straighten out your legs. Walk your hands back out into a downward dog. Feet hip width apart, breathing here. And then again, take the right leg up to the ceiling, open up that hip, bend the right knee. And as we exhale, send that right foot through the hands back into that lunge. And from here, we're going to drop the back knee to the ground. And breathe. And then just heel toe your right foot to the outside of your hands. So you have your hands on the left side of that right foot. And you can just breathe here. You can bring up that back foot again, and you can rock forward and back. And breathe. Up. And then drop that back knee again. Place your right hand on your right thigh and just press that knee away from you a little bit. Really opening up that hip. Beautiful. And releasing right hand back to the ground. Bring up that back knee. Press the ground away and take the right foot back into a downward dog. Same thing on the other side. Left foot coming up, opening up that hip. Knee to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, send that left foot in between your hands into that lunge. Drop the back knee, heel toe the left foot to the outside of the mat, hands on either side of them or on the inside of that foot. And breathe. And again, you can bring up that back leg and you can shift forward and back. Breathing here. And we can drop that back knee, press the left knee away a little bit, opening up that hip more. And breathe. Beautiful. Placing both hands onto the ground, bringing up that back knee, pressing the ground away back into our downward dog. Pressing one heel down to the ground and the other. We're almost done with downward dogs. Let's go ahead, take that right foot in between the hands into that high lunge. And then we're just going to pivot over. So you can use your hands on the ground, pivot on your heels, skandasana, into that side lunge. So we can press one forearm into the knee, opening up the hips even more. And press up, making sure your feet are a little bit pigeon-toed.
And then hinging at the hips, fold forward. Breathe. Beautiful. And then adjusting your feet a little bit if you need to, and then Skandasana on the left side. Beautiful. And then pivoting over into that lunge on the left side. And we're just going to do that on the way back too. So you can rock forward and back, really opening up that right hip. And then coming into side lunge on the left, Skandasana. Press the ground away, pigeon toe your feet, hands on the hips. Fold, wide-legged fold. Breathe. Beautiful. Adjust your feet if you need to, coming into Skandasana on the right side. And pivoting over that right foot into that lunge, just like we did over there. Breathing. And then bringing that right foot back into our downward dog, really stretching your heels down to the ground one more time. One and then the other. Breathe. And release both knees down to the ground wide. Sit your hips back onto your heels into a child's pose. And breathe here for a second. Beautiful. Let's go ahead, start to walk your hands all the way up till we're seated on our heels. Now I can't do this part as well today because of my ankle still, but bring your knees together, sitting on both heels. And I'm going to pull this one out. So we're sitting on both heels. If it hurts at all, we can roll up that towel, which we haven't done in forever, but roll up the towel, put it under your ankles for a little bit of support. Hopefully by day 30 you don't need it anymore. I hope. But just sitting here on our ankles. And if this is enough for you, stay seated here. If it's not, you can put your hands behind you and start to lift the knees, really stretching out that ankle joint. Obviously, I can only do it to one ankle right now, but still good. And breathe. Beautiful. And let's go ahead, releasing both feet from underneath our hips, taking a seat on the ground, bringing our feet out in front of us. And then we're going to do what we did yesterday. So make your feet as wide as the mat. And then drop your knees down to one side. Lean over that front hip. And then up and switch. And lean over that one. I'll move so you guys can see me better. And leaning over that knee. Coming back up, switch the knees. Going to the other side and lean. I don't know why this one is just always so yummy. Go ahead and switch it to the other side and lean. And up and switch. And again. And let's do one more on either side. Switch. Maybe you're crawling off your mat a little bit. And last one, switch. And release, coming back up in the seated position. From here, keeping your feet close to your hips, your knees are up, put your hands behind you, and then just bring your right heel over your left leg, stretching out that glute a little bit. And if you need a little bit more, you can walk your hands closer, chest proud, breathing. And from here, we can drop the right foot down to the ground and the knee together. Kind of a little side twist. It's kind of funky as well. And bring it back up. And drop it back down. And bring it back up. And one more time, drop it down.
And bring it back up. And hips up, switch your feet. Left foot on top of the right thigh. Walk your hands a little closer if you can. Chest proud. Breathe. And drop that foot down to the ground. Little twist. And back up. And we're going again. Little twist. And back up. Breathe in last time. Little twist. Drop that foot down. And back up. Beautiful. Go ahead. Release that foot down. Bringing your feet together into our butterfly position. Grabbing both toes, and you can wiggle your knees, flapping your butterfly wings, and make sure you're sitting tall, chest proud, breathe. And we're gonna only do this one 2 times. So we're gonna take our hand, grab our toes, right hand presses the right knee away, lean to the left. Breathe. And back up to the top. Right hand grabs the toes, press the left knee away, lean to the right. And breathe. And release all the way back up, bringing your knees together close to your chest. Look where we are. Hands up in the air. See if we have a little bit extra ankle and hip mobility than we did earlier. Make sure your heels are close to your butt, your sit bones. Wave to all the people and stand up. Better that time. Let's try again. One more time. No rocking, no jumping back. Heels to butt. Wave at all the people and stand up. Okay, that's it. I want to see your attempts. Okay, that was it, you guys. Super good job. We got done with 30 days of yoga. If you got here, truly well done. Like, that is awesome. Going from no yoga at all for some of you and then ending with 30 days worth of yoga. That's amazing. If you've gotten this far, and oh my gosh, tell me how you did on the stand-up challenge. So if that was like, oh wow, like maybe something I need to work on, let me know in the comments. If you tried it and you were successful, let me know too. And if you're on Instagram or anything and you like take a video of yourself trying it, please tag me because I love getting those all the time. I get them all randomly throughout the year and I love it. So yeah, challenge your friends, challenge your family, and tell them that if they can't do it, they need to work on their hip and ankle mobility, and send them my way. Okay, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you all, and I'll see you on the tube. Bye, guys.